Hello and welcome to the Portman Podcast, episode 187. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Eric.
How's it going?
And today we're discussing the Battle Forces, a whole week late because timing is great.
Yeah, something like that.
But we're not just going to discuss which Battle Forces are good buys and bad buys, and if you should be playing AoS instead of 40k because, dear God, the value difference. We're going to also look at a very interesting thought experiment that one of the patrons came up with, and I decided to see what the result would be.
Yeah, looking at Battle Forces and value boxes definitely has some other interesting historical things to look at.
All right, but enough of the introduction. Let's jump into this.
Sounds good. I guess before we fully jump in, we've got a couple shout outs, news as it were. The patron poll is up and is very close still.
Yes, 2 votes between first and second place again, and it was 1 vote last week when I did the little tweet about it. We also, if you're a patron, have up another 20-minute bonus content of more Miwa Bell, should you be interested in a chunk of the things that had to get cut from last week's episode, because we talked about a lot of things that were not 40k.
Yeah, some of it stayed in the episode, but a solid chunk did not, and so we got bonus content there. We also had a guest spot on Bolters and Banter.
Yes, so if you need more of us this week, we have an entire extra episode for you. Go over to Bolters and Banter. We will have a link below / in the show notes where you can head over there and watch us do a guest spot where we went over all of the Primarchs with them and gave them D&D classes. It was extremely fun.
Yeah, there were definitely some that we all agreed on pretty easily, and a couple others that bit of contention and disagreement maybe.
So make sure to go over there and give them some love. All right, that's enough news. Let's get into this.
Yeah, we've got all the new Battleforce boxes coming out, and let's start with 40k since that's kind of a decent start for what we're looking at.
All right, real quick for Battle Forces. These are our seasonal Fear of Missing Out boxes that they release every November-ish, that are holiday boxes that are totally something you would buy someone for Christmas and not stuff for you to buy yourself. Definitely not the case.
Something like that.
But every year you end up with a big chunk of them for 40k and a slightly smaller chunk for AoS. We've got 6 of them for 40k this year and 4 of them for AoS and a secret 7th one for 40k we're not really going to go into today because it just leaked super early.
Right, so let's start with Emperor's Children. We've got Fulgrim, 6 Flawless Blades, and 6 Noise Marines. Not the most models, but there's a big centerpiece model.
Yeah, so this is very reminiscent of when the other 3 got their Primarch Plus support. Was it last year or the year before?
Thought it was last year, but sometimes time is a little weird, man.
Yeah, but anyway, the other 3 God-specific legions, either last year or the year before, had their Primarch Plus support boxes. And Emperor's Children gets theirs now that they exist. It's a solid box. It's 705 points. Discount-wise, we don't know what the final price of these will be, but we can rough it in at, like, if they're like $240 MSRP, it's like a 34% discount.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 30 and 34%, depending on how much this box is actually going to end up, which is a pretty decent discount. It's not like, holy shit, but it's pretty solid, especially if you don't have Fulgrim yet and you're interested in Emperor's Children. But if you already have Fulgrim, no.
Yeah, this is a rough one. I looked at it, and if you were to buy one of each of the Emperor's Children combo boxes that have existed, like you bought the launch box, you bought the combat patrol, and then you bought this as your Christmas box,
Yeah.
you'll end up with Fulgrim, 2 Lord Exaltants, and then 30 total Infractors / Tormentors, so we'll say 15 of each.
The battle line that can be either.
Yeah, 12 Flawless Blades and 18 Noise Marines. This is 1,885 points, assuming you just build it down the line. It's rough because it's not even 2k points after buying 3 combo boxes, 2 of which are over $200.
But it's pretty close. It's a good chunk of the faction, which is not necessarily a good thing for the faction. But
that's actually my problem with it, is like, this makes every combo box from here on out terrible for you, right? You have 2 copies of one of your 2 generic lords that aren't inherited from CSM. You've got 30 of battle line units already. You've got 12 Flawless Blades. Do you really want more than 12? You've got 18 Noise Marines already, so you're not going to want more Noise Marines at this point. It's your your whole range that exists right now. So anytime any of the current range ends up in a future box, you're never going to want that box again.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, that's just kind of how it is with Emperor's Children.
Yeah, it's so frustrating the way they launched. And the fact that World Eaters launched the same. I'm aware World Eaters.
Yes. But at the same time, like, honestly, if you had gotten those boxes like that, it is basically your army with a few extra add-ons that, you know, to round out the 2k points and to give you maybe a different leader or something like that. But it's not crazy, but it also does make the future boxes potentially problematic for those who are already in EC collecting land.
But like that unsolvable problem out of the way, this box is pretty good. If you don't have Fulgrim already and you aren't like super heavily into Emperor's Children where the rest of the box is not worth it to you,
Yeah.
this is a really solid way to pick up Fulgrim and both of your elite choices.
So I know you said, do you really need more than 12 flawless blades? And kind of, yeah, actually. Just because of how the army plays, like, it's not a bad idea to have the full 18.
It's the issue that, again, World Eaters has right now, too, of like, you need so many because you have to fill out 2k points.
Yeah.
If the faction was a full faction, it is unlikely you would be running maximum legal quantities of the 8-bound or of the flawless blades. It's just awkward because you have nothing else you can run, so you run maximums of the things you can run.
True. And I mean, also Emperor's Children flawless blades are just like, they're the answer to like certain tank stuff and whatever. But this box is a solid value. As much as doubling up on it is never a good idea, this is a solid value. And like, it's tough to say this is a good start to get into it though.
Yeah, again, it would pair really well with the combat patrol.
It pairs great with the combat patrol, but like on its own, if you were giving this to somebody to get into Emperor's Children as a gift, they're gonna need more.
Yeah, I never buy these for someone to get them the army they've always wanted. It's an excuse for you.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, let's move on. We've got Votann, which is one that I'm a little salty with because I think there could have been a really cool combo box for Votann if they had leaned more into the new stuff, but this box is like mostly old stuff. It's a Brokir Ironmaster, 3 Thunderkin, 10 Berserks, 2 Earthshakers, which are new, and 1 Capricious Defender/Carrier, which is the other new one. So you have 3 new models and a bunch of shit you already own if you play Votann.
Yeah, I see where you're at, but also at the same time, like having a box full of just the new stuff is a little weird.
But they had a really nice balance of new stuff. Like you could actually do like a part 2 launch box type deal that would have gone really awesome.
That is true, especially for what Votann has just gotten new. Like it was a decent mix of stuff. It wasn't like all just elites.
Where are cool combat robots or one of the new characters to like make this more enticing?
Yeah.
And again, it's only like 500 points, but
Votann is still in a weird spot for points.
yeah, there's worse problems we're going to get into, but Votann's not on the good end.
Honestly, when 11th comes out, they'll have more models in the actual faction, like units to balance things with points in a way that makes sense. The faction is still a bit anemic, but there should be enough that it won't be quite the problem 10th aside.
Yeah, my problem is like this is still only a 35% discount if we're assuming 240.
Which is not bad.
It's not bad, but like that goes plummeting if you don't need more Thunderkin or more Berserks, or you already have an Iron Master and you don't want a second one.
Yeah, that is true.
This assumes you need everything in the box. A lot of these boxes have problem units in them that they'll be good for somebody, which is fine. But for like general person who's already in this faction and is looking for a good deal, the newer factions here all seem to have like problem children. Like I'm pretty sure most people have Berserks at this point because it was in like 2 of your combo boxes previously. Doesn't help that they're the ugliest part of the army too. All right, moving on from Votann, we have Tyranids.
Yeah, we've got 5 models.
Literally 5 models.
They're big models though.
It's cool. I love when boxes go thinking out of the box and doing something interesting. I have problems with this box, but
We've got a Neurotyrant, a Screamer Killer, a Tyrannofex, a Harsfex, and a Malceptor, and those 3 can be their alternate.
yeah, they can be a Tervagon, an Exocrine, a Toxicrin.
Yeah.
All right, here's my problem with the box though. Like this is actually a solid box. It's 735 points. Discount wise, it's actually not that great. It's pretty bad. 30% if we're going with it's going to be the same price as the other and they're going to be like 240-ish. My real problem though is it's worse than you think it is because the Screamer Killer and the Neurotyrant are here, who were just in the launch box and printed to infinity and beyond. These things are not full overpriced. This is the issue of like last edition with anything that was in Indominus Necron wise. You likely, if you're a fresh new Tyranid player, started with a combo box that already included these two models. So 2 out of the 5 models are something you already own if you're like a brand new person just getting in. If you've like been playing for a long time and you didn't get the new combo box and you're like coming back maybe, then I guess these are new, but then you probably have a Tyrannofex and a Harusfex / Exocrine whatever. Though the dual builds have a lot more legs to them because if you have, 2 or 3 of one of the options, you probably don't have 2 or 3 of both of the options.
Yes.
It's a little frustrating because like I'd be okay if one of these two was a little bit of a loss of value. Like if you did, instead of the Screamer Killer, you did like the proper Carnifex kit that's like the double Carnifexes.
Oh, yeah.
Carnifexes are sold in 2s because they're old. But if it was that instead of the Screamer Killer, I think this box would be like my favorite box. Or if you just replaced it with a different Tyranid monster, whatever, pick one. Or maybe you keep that and then you make the Neurotyrant a Hive Tyrant or something that like a new player is not going to have randomly.
Yeah, I'd have to look back and remember what was all in like the combo boxes. But I don't know, man. It's tough because like if this was next year's box, this would be awesome.
I agree, actually. You make a great point. Once these aren't readily available anymore, like if we're at, mid 11th edition, early 11th edition even, this box becomes crazy good because you lose my one problem with it, which is you likely, if you're new, already have these because now it won't be the case if you're new, you have these. And then this becomes like my favorite box of the bunch.
Because like this is an exciting box. You look at it and you're like, holy shit, that's just a bunch of cool giant monsters, man. But from like a discount aspect, it is a little bit more difficult, especially because there's more of these models out there to get access to. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not the discount that you want it to be.
It's even frustrating because like of the boxes, this is one of the ones that could be the best to double up on and like buy 2 copies and get like instant army, right?
Yeah.
With the exception of 2 Neurotyrants and 2 Screamer Killers right now. Like again, if this was like next year or the year after, crazy cool.
It's kind of disappointing that like this is such a cool box, but like it isn't really at the moment. And it's not the kind of thing that's going to be available next year. Like this is a limited time. That's the whole FOMO like you brought up of like it's here, it's going to get sold out, and then it's not going to be available when it would be so cool later.
And this is something we have to bring up on these episodes. People always ask this. No, you should never go out of your way to find an old box. It's going to cost more to get that old box than it is worth. They're only good because they're a discount. If you're overpaying for them, you lose the discount. They're not worth it. There is no point in looking at these FOMO boxes in the future and going, damn, I'm going to try to find that. Don't bother.
If you happen to find one and it is still being sold at MSRP or abouts, like it could still be a discount and all that stuff, but like generally they're marked up, and then no, you've failed the whole get it on a discount thing. But let's move into Tau.
My most annoyed box of the bunch. So Tau is Commander Farsight, a Riptide, Broadside, and 3 Crisis battle suits.
Man, this is such a cool fucking combat patrol.
It's the easiest joke, but it is. You're absolutely like correct. It gets in the problem. This is 472 fucking points. This is nothing. This is literally combat patrol tier. The problem is Tau's balance this edition has been just make it cheaper until it's good again.
It was like the problem is Commander Farsight's 85 points.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Tau's Gilliman equivalent, 85 points. This is what Lion was going to become if Lion didn't get a fucking rework. But anyway, this box is, it's just missing a whole kit. Even ignoring the fact that crisis suits are crazy overpriced for what the kit is, GW is trying to commit an actual crime selling those things. This thing still only comes in at 33% for these models. It's like missing a whole ass kit. Like there should be 6 crisis suits, and then you could argue it's the 8+1 or whatever, but like this is like 6 out of 8.
Nailed it.
It's frustrating. And like this is right after last year was the Retaliation Cadre box, right? Which was 4 fucking models. Granted, it looked cool because it was a Ghost Keel next to a Riptide, and that'll make most people stop and look. But like we argued the Retaliation Cadre was missing 3 crisis suits. This is the same fucking thing. You replaced the Ghost Keel with 3 crisis suits. You were supposed to add them, you jackasses.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it's brutal. A large part of it is because the crisis suits are just so expensive monetarily.
Yeah, that's the only reason it looks like it's a good value in the first place. But the things are just, they've always been overpriced. That kit is, I don't know if like GW lost $35 million making that kit or something, but they treat it like gold when it's fucking Terminators. That's what it is.
Yeah, but they're like Gundams.
But they're like chibi Gundams. They don't have the cool proportions of all the other Gundams.
That's true.
This is the box I am most frustrated about.
It is still a discount though, so like if you still need Farsight and battle suits and stuff like that, yeah, if you can get it and you need these models, great. But it feels like it's missing a whole unit.
Yeah, which it's not going to be the end of us saying that in this, sadly, but this is the worst example in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it is the most obvious one.
Now, we've been negative, but let's get into two that I think are actually good.
All right.
First up is Space Marines. So Space Marines actually gets a really good combo box this year.
We've got a unit of company heroes, so that's the 5 models. We've got a lieutenant, 5 Sturmguard veterans, 5 Hellblasters, a Ballistus Dreadnought, a Redemptor Dreadnought, and a Head Sprue, which apparently, Brad, you were saying is something new?
This is the new head sprue thing that they just revealed this week. It's actually like unironically kind of cool. It gives you a bunch of different helmet options of different marks and stuff. It gives you the head toothbrushes that history nerds will be mad I'm calling head toothbrushes.
But everybody will know exactly what you're talking about.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But it's a very cool upgrade sprue, actually. In my opinion, the Legion sprues, which are just shoulder pads, this one actually adds a lot of variety to like different helmets and stuff that you can do. I think it's neat. I don't think it's worth saying it's money or anything. It's quote unquote free value in my head if it gets included or not.
But it's nice.
It is nice to actually have something, you know, like unique and new in here. But overall, this is actually a pretty good value. So it's 725 points, which is a good beefy amount of points, is what you want to see these be, is like at least 700 points for what you're paying for these things. It's over a 30% discount, even if it ends up being like 240, 250 bucks. It does have the issue of the Ballistus Dread and the Sturm Guards were in the starter box of the edition. But in my opinion, this is where like a Space Marine player could be brand new.
Yeah.
Like after the release of the start of the edition box, just because there's so many new kids starting with Space Marines, right? Or you could be an older one, you didn't do the starter box for the edition and you're like, hey, I'll pick up a Ballistus Dread in this thing.
So it's one of those that like you had kind of brought up like, oh, these are more for like us who have already been collecting to get a discount kind of thing than it is to give as a gift to somebody just getting new. I feel like Space Marines is the opposite of like, this is honestly one that can get people in as a new like, hey, here's a gift of Space Marines because I have no idea what you're talking about, but like, hey, you're gonna love it, right?
Yeah, honestly, as a first time purchase for someone, this is a crazy cool start to a collection.
Yeah.
Like if you were 0 Space Marines before this box, this is a hella cool one. Which, considering that Space Marines tends to get really shitty value boxes in the last couple of years, hey, it's really nice they got a good one this time.
There's so many so bad ones.
Yeah, the bikes last time.
This one is honestly good. Like, it's cool. It's got the dreadnoughts. Those look cool. It's got a bunch of dudes in armor.
And they're more elite models too, so they
Yeah.
actually have very nice looks to them, because the Stern Guards and the company heroes have like a lot more oomph to their armor. They don't just look like you get 20 generic dudes.
Yeah.
It's a very cool box. I think this, no, it's my second favorite of the 40k ones. My favorite of the 40k ones is next.
Yeah, we've got the chaos coded version of Space Marines.
Chaos coded Space Marines. Not just Chaos Space Marines, not Heretic Astartes.
Nah.
We're chaos coded. Based in chaos pilled.
Oh, that's awful. I hate the fact that I even said any of this.
Giving off some real dark god vibes.
Aura farming.
Tzeentchian aura farming.
Oh, God. What the fuck?
Anyway, CSM. So we get a Lord Disco on Hellstalker, a Venom Crawler, who always comes with 2 Obliterators because they're stuck on a sprue together, 5 Havocs, 10 Legionnaires, and a Chaos Rhino. I believe the Legionnaires this time are the ones from Kill Team and thus have the upgrade sprue. Don't quote me on it. It's hard to tell unless you see the guy with the book, which I don't.
It would be unlikely that that's true, but it would be cool.
But this is a very cool, like, start to a collection in general. One of the most most balanced looking battle forces of this bunch, and is just a nice variety of models that are like a safe bet for someone. Like, this is how all the battle forces should feel when I look at them.
Yeah, it comes out to be like 800 points and is again another like 33% discount, something like that. So like all of those like number metrics kind of line up to be a decent deal. But like as an army collection, this is a nice spread and is like, yeah, you could build an army with this kind of thing and not be hyper skewed to, you know, just kind of have a slant shitty list. I think that's why I think the Space Marines version was, you know, really well done, is because like it's a solid start to the collection. The CSM is just doing that, but like slightly better.
The CSM is the same thing, except CSM isn't the poster children of the game who have the intro box every time. It's the Space Marine thing without the little asterisk of technically Sturmguard and Ballistus Dread mean this is slightly worse value than it looks. It's so good. If all of them were this good, this would be the best time of year every time. But like we always have the issue, and it's not that like they're always worse than last year. Like we disproved that last time. We actually like sat down and looked at historically, they don't get worse. It's that you remember the good ones of previous years and you look at the bad one you're pissed off at this year.
Yeah.
Granted, I think there were more misses this year than most, but there were still stellar ones here for 40k. When we get to AoS, why are we playing 40k? But we've got one last disappointment here, which is the Krieg box. For Imperial Guard here, they did a cool Krieg collection box till we get into the details.
So we've got a Lord Commissar, a Krieg command squad, 20 Death Corps of Krieg troopers, the 5 combat engineers, and 2 artillery teams.
This looks cool. When you look at it on the box, you're like, shit, this is probably an awesome battle force. I can't wait to pick this up.
They did a good job of getting the box art with all of the Krieg troopers and, you know, having the artillery and like, wow, this looks exactly what I want from a Krieg intro box kind of thing.
And then we get into the sad details. This is less than 500 points. This is 460 points.
Which is bad, obviously, yes. But, I mean, this is Imperial Guard and it's a bunch of troops. It doesn't have any tank. Like, there's an expectation that, like, yeah, it is going to be on the lower end.
Yeah. So there's the argument of, like, Horde will always be lower end points. So clearly it's because there's so much value in the box, right?
That would be some of the expectation, yeah.
This thing has to cost way less than the other ones because even at $240, this thing doesn't even hit 30%. It's at like 27. This has to be cheap, like 220 or lower before it becomes like an okay value. And then we get into the issue of like the artillery teams aren't that great and you can run a max of 3 and it was already in the last combo box with Krieg. And if you like Krieg, you probably picked that up. So a little awkward.
That is a little awkward, yeah.
This just needed an extra kit in the first place. Although I know the argument is there's so many dudes here, but like it needs the extra kit or this has to be cheap.
I feel like this is one that they could put cheaper and like it would make sense. Like from a discount value, like they're not losing out too much if they make this one the cheaper one. And it also is like, oh, hey, there's all of these models, but they're kind of small. Like you line up these Battleforce boxes next to each other and you've got the Tyranids giant monsters box and then next to it you've got a bunch of dudes. You know, not quite the same vibe, but like it would make sense if it's slightly cheaper, but there's so many of them.
I just feel like adding in just one Sentinel even might put this over the edge and to the point where it's like, okay, now it's an alright value, mediocre point cost, but good enough it's guard, and like you can give it the thumbs up. It's just kind of frustrating because it's like, not only is it low in points, it's not good value. It's the no-win situation of because everyone was starving for Krieg for so long and like they keep selling well, GW knows they don't have to try. This is going to get sold out even if it's a 1% discount.
Basically, yeah.
Like it's frustrating knowing that they won't be punished.
And like I get it, at a 1% discount, if you still wanted to get all of these models, it makes sense to take that. But it is kind of disappointing once you look a little bit deeper into this Krieg box.
I don't even know how I would fix this. It's not the easiest one for me to like sit there and think about how I would fix it. There's problems with a lot of things in Guard, part of it being like a lot of their generic vehicles are super old at this point, so you can't just be like, why didn't you put in a Lehman Russ, you know, that 20-year-old kit that barely fits together.
And then like if you're actually making it like a Krieg box, there's only so many like Krieg models.
I mean, it's these and horses, and the horses are already too much of the combat patrol and everything.
Yeah, this was a fine attempt. It's just not amazing.
All right, but real quick, before we move move into AoS, let's summarize the 40k boxes. Emperor's Children, I think, is a thumbs up if you know you need it. You know if you need Fulgrim, 6 Flawless Blades, and you won't waste 6 more Noise Marines. If you need everything in it, solid value, solid points, it's good.
Yeah, only ever get the first.
I don't think I would ever argue for double of any of these boxes, to be honest. But Votann, I have trouble recommending. It's not high in points. The discount's only okay. It's got a lot of older units you probably already have. If it's your start to the collection, it feels weird.
I think it's a fine start to the collection, but don't go out of your way to be like, finally, I can start collecting Votann with this. Like, it'll be okay. It's a decent enough discount, but underwhelming.
Tyranids, I think, is next year's best box.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that it's like, right now, I don't think you actually want this box once you check eBay.
Yeah, the only thing there is like local availability of models on eBay could be tough to find kind of thing. So maybe this works out really well for where you're at. Take a look, but definitely look at the secondhand market before buying this one.
Tau, I'm angry. Space Marines and CSM are both huge thumbs up. Honestly, if you were going to double up on one of these, both of these are pretty good to double up on.
That's where I was thinking as well. The CSM one, definitely.
Yeah.
The Space Marine kind of still works, but generally I'm less on doubling up for Space Marines because there's going to be other box coming out.
That's actually a great point of there's always another Space Marine box on the horizon. We didn't even cover there's another Battle Force coming out that is not one of the Christmas Battle Forces. It's going to be all of the new Assault Terminators and everything that accidentally got leaked early. So there's always a new Space Marine box coming.
But like this one would be fine to double up on. The CSM one's great. Slam dunk. And then the Krieg one is not good, but technically if you want this as your I need all of these models, it is a discount.
It's the sadder version of what I said about EC, where like technically if you bought one of each of the Krieg combo boxes, this is still a good purchase. You are now at the legal limit of the artillery teams, but whatever. But like that gets you a solid Krieg collection. You fill out the rest with, you know, whatever vehicles you like, and you have an army. The problem is like 3 Krieg combo boxes, I don't even think hits 1,000 points if you combine them all.
Yeah, not exciting there.
Anyway, that's 40k. Let's move into the one that is like the grass being greener on the other side. AoS gets 4 boxes. All of them spit in the face of 40k. The worst one of these would be a pretty good 40k box.
All right, which one do we want to start with then?
Let's talk about Skaven. The Skaven box is an Arch Warlock, a weapons team, Globadiers, Warp Blasters, Jezzails, and then 2 whole units of Storm Vermin. This is a lot of models. It's also a really cool combination of like Scryer weapon tech stuff and then like 20 Storm Vermins.
There was a certain amount of, oh shit, but we need to make this like actually have an army. Let's just toss Storm Vermin in there and it'll work.
I actually think this is a really nice way to accent, if you're a newer Skaven player, your Skaventide box. You get your more elite troop, you get another Warp Blaster, and you get more variety of different Scryer stuff, like weapons teams and all that. Globadiers. It's a solid box. It's hilariously, as a Horde army, which we know it's really hard to get up there in points, as we just discussed with Krieg, this one's only 930 points. The worst of AoS, I'll remind you, at higher than the highest 40k one.
Yeah, I mean, AoS is just their model per point kind of thing is just not quite as bad as 40k.
Not quite as bad as the understatement of the century. 40k is criminal in order to play it compared to AoS.
But yeah, this is honestly like a solid representation of Scryer weaponry. And then like, yeah, I guess if you did pair it up with Skaventide stuff, that would work really well.
It's weird being like, here's the lowest point one. I would slam dunk this thing. Like discount wise, it's also pretty good. It's like 37% discount if we're assuming 240-ish. Quick maths. And like technically this is close to the worst value in AoS as well. They just get better.
So let's move on from Skaven into one that's even better. The Dankhold Rampage.
Oh man, this one's so tempting, by the way.
I figured you would enjoy this one.
I'm upset about how tempted I am to just buy 2 of this.
That's a bit much.
It's just, I now own a Troggoth army, deal with it.
Yeah.
So this is Trug, a Trog boss, 2 units of Rot Guts, and 1 unit of Fellwater Troggoths, who are hideous compared to the rest of this army. But this is 1,110 points, and it's just a slightly worse value than Skaven here. It's like 35% if we're going off our guesstimate.
And I mean, yeah, honestly, you buy 2 of these and you have an army of Trogs. I don't know if I'd entirely recommend that one.
No, you probably should not do that, but it's tempting, ain't it?
Having the 1, honestly, is pretty awesome.
I don't think I need 2 of Trug's kit, but
No, probably not.
it is cool. I like Gloomspite, but like I'm particular on which parts of Gloomspite I like, and this one really hits it. And again, it is a very pretty box. It has variety in its part of the army. It doesn't feel like a random mishmash like some of them end up looking like. It's very thematic, which honestly, all of the AoS ones are very thematic. They're all like regiments of renown. But yeah, again, all 4 of these are solid the whole way through. Getting into the best value of the bunch with the Lances of the Crimson Keep here for Soulblight Gravelords. You get Prince Vodrai, 2 units of Blood Knights, and a unit of Fellbats. This one is very much like all of the Demon Primarchs for 40k side of things.
It feels a lot like the EC of here's your centerpiece model and then some elite stuff as well.
Yeah, and 3 random bats because we wanted to get the model count up, and they're cheap.
Which honestly does a great job. Like, it's just that extra little bit on top of like the EC one that we were looking at.
And I know some people will argue his alt build is like really bad in game or whatever, or was a couple months ago. I'm a little out of date AoS side, but still, who cares? He's a huge named character who can alt build in the first place. And who doesn't love Blood Knights if they like vampires? It's like your main vampire unit.
It really is. It's one of those, like, you need those if you're going to play it, essentially. As annoying as it is, they are basically a core to the army.
Yeah, if you're going to go the vampire route, they're what you're using. But yeah, this one is all the way at like over $400 of value in it. So like depending, this thing could be over 40%.
It's a good discount.
But again, a lot of that is Vodrai is very expensive at $200.
Really cool kit though.
He is. We need to pressure my brother into building his. He bought it. It's sitting there in a box on his table.
If only he would be done building your shit.
He is done. He finished.
I thought you had more.
No. He finished them all.
Oh, okay.
You missed last week. He's done. He's free. Now I'm painting infinite Space Marines.
All right, but last up, we've got Sylvaneth with the Outcast Spike Grove. Spike Groove. They got that Spike Groove on. So the Outcast Spike Grove is Durthu / other builds, Drycha, 2 units of Dryads, and 3 units of Spite Revenants. This one is technically a good value because Dryads are overpriced for how garbage they are. I also know that this one on the AoS side had people complaining that like technically this is a box from a couple years ago, but they took out a whole Tree Lord and just put in a couple extra Dryads to replace the whole Tree Lord it lost. It does look kind of familiar.
This one does have the quote unquote problem of these are a lot older models in a half new army where you could have all the new stuff. However, if you mostly got in through the new stuff, then maybe this helps you round out your collection.
Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty reasonable. And like it's a great discount. Again, it's like $400. Part of it is because Dryads are expensive, but like, yeah, this is a good discount.
There is the other thing to be mindful of with this doesn't pair well with the current Spearhead, since the current Spearhead is stuff that's in this box and 3 Kurnoth Hunters.
Yeah, I would say that this is kind of a miss for AoS.
In 40k terms, it'd still be good.
Yeah, because it's a massive discount.
This is still damn near 1,000 points.
Yeah, it's still pretty good, isn't it?
You can't even argue that it's like, oh, it's 1,000 points, but AoS is so much more elite. Bro, there's as many models in here as there is in the guard box, if not more. I'm not going to count it to find out.
It looks similar from a quick glance.
It is more. I just counted. Damn it. I am more angry now.
Yeah, all of these AoS Battleforce boxes are just great, honestly. They're so good. From value, from like, you get a bunch of the models that you're going to want. And yeah, they did a great job of making sure that they are thematic as well.
Yeah, so again, And I don't think there's any I truly hate on the AoS side. I think all of them, if you're interested in that army, this is a fine box to pick up for either getting into it or expanding your collection. Sylvaneth is the wishy-washiest of the bunch, though.
And even it's honestly still pretty good.
Yeah. However, before we're out of here, there was a really cool idea a patron had that I decided to fully jump into the thought experiment of. They noticed that we got yet another CSM combo box. And so they went through and riddled off every CSM combo box that they have had for 8th edition through now. So let me take you through in the last like 5 years what you could have purchased combo box wise for CSM. So like we're not even going into 8th edition. Let's go with 9th edition before the Codex through now.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a decent number because there's some of like the pairing with Space Marines.
But before we go into this, please feel free to guess how many points of CSM you could get from unique combo boxes.
So just like one of all of these unique combo boxes totaled up.
Yep.
Just the CSM parts.
Just CSM, yeah.
It's probably a good amount. Just in case you were wondering. It is not the same as EC.
So starting off, back in 8th edition, at the tail end of 8th edition, Shadowspear came out. It was Phobos dudes versus CSM's Ranger Refresh with like the new Legionnaires and everything. That box, the CSM half, became Start Collecting Chaos Space Marines. That was a Master of Possessions, 10 Legionnaires, 2 now defunct Greater Possessed that are now like just normal Possessed, but they come in 5s. A little confusing, but whatever. And the Venom Crawler with its 2 Obliterators attached.
Classic pairing.
At least they all look cool together, unlike the random shit that happened in Necrons, where like things that have no point are all together on a sprue.
Yeah.
But this Start Collecting box came out in 8th edition and was the CSM Start Collecting box through the majority of 9th edition.
All right.
Then the Codex came out on the tail end of 9th edition, a couple years in. When it came out, we got the 9th edition CSM launch box where it was CSM versus Eldar with their refresh. CSM got the new Chosen and the new Warpsmith along with a Forge Fiend on their half of this box. Oh, but before that, we also got the Christmas box, which was the Decimation Warband, which was a Chaos Lord, Terminators, Legionnaires, Havocs, and another Forge Fiend. But then once it came out, we got the new Codex and we replaced the oh so amazing Start Collecting box with the less so amazing and more expensive Combat Patrol, which was a Dark Apostle, Legionnaires, Havocs, and a Hellbrute.
Yeah, I mean it was a combat patrol of combat patrols.
That cost 50% or more than the Start Collecting and was debatably worse.
Yeah.
But then at the tail end of 9th edition, Arcs of Omen happened. Vashtor was unleashed upon the world. We got the Vashtor release box set where he was against some Dark Angel mooks.
Wrath of the Soulforged King.
Yeah, that one he came out with 10 cultists and everyone's favorite, a Venom Crawler and 2 Obliterators.
Hell yeah. Classic.
This is honestly, if you were going to skip any of these, probably the worst of the combo boxes, but whatever. It's here.
But it was kind of neat because of Astor and yeah.
At the same time, during Arcs of Omen, we got the battle forces for Arcs of Omen. CSM got one here too. It was the Bale Fleet Battle Force.
And it had a fucking Helldrake.
It did have a fucking Helldrake. More importantly, it had the new Possessed and the new Demon Prince and also some Terminators.
Yeah, Arcs of Omen also had like the boarding patrol thing that they tried for a bit there.
Yep. So boarding actions came out and everyone got a boarding patrol box. Some of them were really good. This one was Abaddon, 20 cultists and 10 legionnaires. Not my favorite of the bunch, but it's fine. And then we moved into 10th edition. In 10th edition, we had yet another combat patrol. This one was a mop, 5 more possessed, 10 legionnaires, and 10 cultists. We also got with the 10th edition launch of the Codex 2 battle forces, the Dread Talons and the Veterans of the Long War. This is where they released the new Jump Chaos Lord, the Dark Commune, the Accursed Cultists. Technically, we got the old Warp Talons in this too, more cultists. And the other one had the new Chaos Lord who looks beautiful, as we said last week.
Hell yeah.
5 more of the new Possessed, 5 Chosen, 10 Terminators, and 10 more Legionnaires. And then you can wrap all of these boxes up with this Christmas box, which as we discussed earlier is a Lord Disco, a Venom Crawler, Crawler with 2 Obliterators again, 5 more Havocs, 10 Legionnaires, and a Chaos Rhino.
Yeah, that's actually quite a few boxes in the last, 5 years-ish?
Yeah.
Some quite a bit better than others, but that's quite a few, so probably a lot of points.
Depending how you build it, because a few of these have options, right?
Right.
Just averaging it out, I got 6,905 points.
That's not bad.
You could have damn near 7,000 points of CSM in the last 5 years only buying combo boxes, and it's like a good spread. You have less than the legal limit of everything, except for you have 10 too many Chaos Space Marines if you like fully went in on them.
Interesting.
Everything else is technically a legal number that you could just play that slant list and you're fine.
Yeah, I guess it was only 3 times that the Venom Crawler showed up with classic duo.
Yep, you got exactly 1 Abaddon and 1 Vashtor. It's really interesting. You got 2 Demon Princes, so you could do 1 with wings, 1 without. The only double up here is you technically got 2 Chaos Lords because 1 was the Thunderhammer Chaos Lord and then 1 was the new Chaos Lord kit, and then 2 Mops. Character-wise, you have a really good spread. The only thing you're super heavy on, again, is Legionnaires, but of course, because it's, they're generic infantry that are in a lot of boxes. You've got 20 Terminators, 20 Havocs, 20 Possessed plus 2 Greater Possessed, 15 Chosen, 10 Raptor/Warp Talons, 50 Cultists, 8 Accursed Cultists, 6 Obliterators, 3 Venom Crawlers, 2 Forge Fiends/Mauler Fiends, a Hellbrute, a Helldrake, and a Rhino. It's a good spread.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that you would want to have a few more of and a few less of for like a balanced collection. But yeah, that's a shockingly good collection for just like taking one of all the combo boxes over the last few years.
I would be kind of interested to see what would happen with other factions. I assume no one is this good other than Space Marines.
I guess the Space Marine one could be interesting, but just from a holy shit aspect.
The Space Marine one would get tiring.
Yeah.
I feel like I would grow bored and die halfway through reading all the Space Marine combo boxes that have technically come out.
And then you'd also have to like section them up into like the specific, this is for this chapter.
Oh no, I would just ban it. If it's Space Wolves or Dark Angels or something, it wouldn't even go on the list. We have too many to begin with.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that thought experiment yourself, feel free to leave a comment and I'll read your hard work because I'm not going to do it. I would be interested in seeing how it would turn out for some of the other factions though.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that at some point, but a nice little thought experiment in addition to, talking about the new battle forces that are coming out.
Yeah, I wanted to do something that wasn't just talking about what's a good versus bad value and instead do like something weird and interesting. But anyway, that does it for this week's topic. We kept it lighter after, last week was a lot of recording time and a guest spot, which do not forget, now that you're done with this, go check out Bolters and Banter. We had a really fun time recording with those guys.
Yeah, and while you're there, don't forget to do the YouTube pleasantries, especially for smaller channels. The, like, comment, subscribe stuff really does matter quite a bit.
Yes.
If you've got the moment and you enjoy the content, definitely give them some love.
Yes, it really does help, especially smaller channels like them. So be good people if you go over there. Do not be bad people.
Our community is actually pretty good, so I think we can trust them.
It's mostly adults, so we're pretty fine. We don't have the worst of YouTube in our audience.
Very true.
All right, but that does it for us this week. Let's read some patron names and get out of here, because we have a bunch of patrons who support us so much that we read them off every month, and they are a pulsating ball of pure energy,
A suspicious looking guy,
a dachshund,
Adeptus Diabetes, insulin sold separately,
Adrian Franca,
Alan Dunn,
Amdragon,
A Mists,
Andreas,
Another Hairy Sasquatch,
Arcus Trains Now, Deal With It,
Ava Warrior Princess,
Ave Dominus Nuts,
Biggs the Purple Necron,
Blubbles 180,
Bob Myers,
Bob Kerr,
Brad, we've been trying to reach you about your Storm Tigers extended warranty,
BRB Gotta Snaz My Wagon,
Canucke,
Carnuvex,
Chad the Frog,
Christopher Gargliano,
Chroma Vale,
Colin H,
Cracker Barrel, House of Pegging,
Craig Judge,
Crazy Shack 48,
Cube 1359,
Dairy Sorcerer, Addicted to Mana Potions,
Daniel Field 5150,
Darth Virgins,
Das Goopy,
Dominic Calcico,
Edward Lawrence,
Enchanted Galaxy Cat,
Ethan Flores.
Eve the Thief,
For fuck's sake, GW, set the Eliminators back to 75 points.
Flawless Oyster,
Gathering Clouds,
Gear Overlord,
Geet,
Hemorrhock,
Hyena Beans.
Hypnotic Spectre,
I bought 2,335 points of Custodes to get into 40k because Brad said no, but the Tylenol said yes.
I read the Space Wolves Codex and all I got out of it was wolf, 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 wolf.
Elindi,
Iron Father,
Isaac Hall,
Jack Gaming,
Jacked Zat,
Jarrett DePerna,
Justin Udacek. Good luck. Ain't no way I can pronounce that right. There's no way it's pronounced the way it's spelled.
The worst part is it's short.
Where's too white?
Khan Tunsil,
Caden Moore,
Kentorb,
Kozak,
Krishna,
Lucas,
Lord of Chaos,
Madison Ramanama,
Matthew Tsushima,
Michael Melcher,
Michelle, who thinks they should add an army rule to Imperial agents,
Mitchell,
Mixolodius,
Burnt Toast,
Morfield 55,
Not Gaffy,
Not EE,
Not So Smart Boy,
Omega Shark.
Pierce forgot about changing their name as a bit for a while,
Please God, don't batch paint non-metallic metal, you'll go insane.
Proteus,
Quellen,
Reigns 13,
Retheus Khan,
Rock,
Rogue Trader Jake,
Ross Warlock,
Remora,
Saft,
Sriracha Sauce,
Scuba Steve,
Shemalama Ding Dong,
Shax's Pet Otter,
Sister Leviathan of the Sororitas.
Solanite.
All right, there.
Gene Seed is different, Eric.
Spraying my gene seed on Eric's face. You're
It's close to the line. Struggle Bus.
the CEO of Cracker Barrel. The Cracker Barrel. YouTube. Listen, it's okay.
The Mailman.
The only thing eternal in 40k isn't the Emperor. It's Calgar's next model release.
The Other Mailman.
The secretly not so secret Dark Angel.
The Crusader 13.
The Fish Guy.
Thrango.
Toledo rightfully belongs to Ohio.
Tom McGarth.
Uwuluma.
Van Griff.
Warhammer Caleb.
Woodstock.
Wysamed2.
Zach Wade.
And Zimbabwe.
We also have our producers we thank every week because they are so supportive of us. They are
Etherean, last known location, the Warp.
Blizzard Brain. Oh my god.
And it is definitely making fun of me. Brad, please make sure Eric either gets a woman to love or he is punished by having to buy Space Wolves for not taking the advice of his friends untaint him.
You can tell this was written by a 40k player because they misspelled the word friends.
After all of that, yeah.
Breaking news. Zinch made...
Oh. Oh boy, that's sure a story.
Breaking news. Zinch made me shit my pants in my team's meeting.
Broken Reaper 45.
Catalytic converter tramp stamp when Brad escapes industry.
I feel like there's like missing characters at the end of that, but then I look at the other ones and I'm like, how did you get like so many? If whatever. Corvus.
Demolition Man.
Eric's 500 terabyte of non-disclosed feet pick stash.
Eric's foot tier list.
Jesus Christ,
Why are
guys.
you getting destroyed these last 2 weeks?
False alarm, sorry. I thought I'd change it back to normal. The app limits you to 50 characters. Now the browser lets you go up.
Gilgamesh versus
I had a tumor in my spine and the doctors didn't even have the courtesy to let me name it or keep it.
Yon Gaisi,
Kiwi Fruit Bird.
Le Bloop Bloop,
Mr. Squigums.
NJ Harlan,
Pizza 00100.
Ratchet,
Sam Brown.
Scott the Gym Crab, Mr. Festastic.
That Moiety.
Uma Musume is a GW psyop to get people to buy White Scars.
Victorian Batman.
War Game Simulator.
What if instead of Fulgrim, his name was Freakrim, and instead of being evil, he pegged me in a Cracker Barrel?
Why are we here? Just to peg? Every night I can feel my pegs and my holes, even my wooden board, the tightness I've lost.
Jesus Christ. All right, then. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
You're all unhinged and I love you for it. We're out of here for the week. Enjoy, everyone.
Sounds good.